Hey there, Aubrey. How's it going?
I'm great, Lindsay. How are you?
Good. What are we talking about on the show today?
Well, I have a question to start us out. I'm
Okay.
curious. What do you do if you realized that you used the wrong word during a conversation?
That's a great question. So typically I might just say, oh, I mean this, or I will correct myself usually.
Same.
And maybe smile, laugh. It's a
Yeah.
pretty lighthearted thing, really.
Right. It's no big deal. This happened to me recently on the podcast. I think I was recording with
Yeah.
Michelle and I
Okay.
said, this word has a certain collocation. And then I was
Yeah.
like, connotation?
Connotation.
Collocation? That took me a second.
Yeah.
Connotation. It
Yeah.
happens all the time, right? And it's
Yeah.
going to happen on the IELTS exam. You just need to know what to say, how to handle it, and to not
Yeah.
let it throw you off.
100%. And I wonder if is that what we're getting in today? Into
Yeah.
today is what
Yes, we got a
happens.
great question on
Ah,
YouTube about this that we're going to answer. And we're going to get into some details because there's strategy involved here as well.
nice. All right. So I'm going to read the question. This is from our YouTube channel. Guys, don't forget IELTS Energy has its own YouTube channel. So go over
Yes.
there if you want to watch us on video and hit the subscribe button. So this is what Mauro9748 asked us. Hey, Aubrey and Lindsay, what if I say a band six word during the exam, realize it, and then right away rephrase it with a higher band one? Does it count? Thanks. Ooh,
Yeah, such a
interesting.
good question. Yes. So we are
Yes.
going to answer this today.
Okay.
And the first thing to know is that, yes, this can
Mm,
improve your vocabulary score if you say a word and then immediately say a band nine synonym. But
yes.
it can actually hurt your fluency score if you say this in sort of a weird, unnatural way. Because
Okay.
sometimes we will sort of stack adjectives, but we won't always just like immediately say a synonym. But there
Right.
are ways to do this that can keep your fluency scores high. So we will show you that today.
Oh, I'm so excited to get into this. We have never had a question like this before. And I can tell that Mauro has been watching our channel, right? Listening to our show and learning about the importance of choosing high level band nine words, not band six words,
Yes,
right? So
exactly.
good. Yeah.
Absolutely.
hmm Guys, don't forget to hit the follow button right here on IELTS Energy. Again, whether you're on YouTube, you can hit subscribe, or if you are on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can just follow. Okay.
Yes,
Good.
exactly. And this is so interesting. I'm really glad we're going into this because this happens a lot that the first word that comes to mind is more common, is one you
hmm
hear all the time, is band six or even lower.
Yeah.
And then you immediately think of a better synonym. Ooh, I want to use
Yes.
that. So, how can we do that? Right.
Yes. It's a great
So,
question.
first of all, talking about rephrasing low scoring words like, yes, you can do this. Natural self correction is
hmm
actually part of your score. So, right, the examiner is listening for
Hmm.
this because native speakers do this. We sort of
Yes.
naturally self correct. But the
Right.
trick is to do this in, a natural way. Like we said,
Yeah.
instead of just like saying another word out of the blue.
Right. So we have to do it naturally rather than just paraphrasing and adding the more impressive word. We have to make it feel real the way we do it. Right,
Right.
Aubrey?
Exactly. So there are phrases we use. This is the strategy is to have these phrases that we use
Mm.
when we're going to add another word or when clarifying or adding emphasis and all of that boosts your fluency and coherence score. So we're going to
Ooh.
teach four of these today and for each we're going to give you like an example of a sentence that or two that might be in a band 6 answer and then how you would use this phrase to boost that to band 7 or higher.
Yeah, I'm previewing the phrases today and I love these. These are fantastic. So let's go into the first one. The first one is kind of the more basic one,
Yes.
right? Right? And what is this, Aubrey?
Yeah. So this is, I mean, we
hmm
say this a lot. So for
Yes.
example, if Lindsay, if you were asked to describe a city that you have visited,
Yeah.
what would
Yeah.
be a band 6 example if you say a word and then think of a new
Yeah.
word? Give us that
Okay.
example.
So this is how we'd get a band six. I visited Paris last year. It was a very nice city. Stunning. It was a stunning city. The architecture was magnificent and the streets were so charming. Right.
Yes. So this is so interesting because stunning is a higher scoring word. And I can see
Hmm.
someone saying it's a very nice city and then immediately thinking, why did I say nice? I know so
I
many better
know.
words. And then
So
wanting to
sad.
say stunning. And this might be how you would do it, right?
Hmm.
Unfortunately, the fluency score could be hurt here because now we're repetitive. Now we're
Hmm.
sort of stuttering. It's more clear that we're like trying to come up with the vocabulary.
Mm.
So now,
Yes.
Lindsay, give us a band seven or higher example
Okay.
with basically the same answer.
Okay, so here's what it sounds like. I visited Paris last year. It was a very nice city. I mean, it was absolutely stunning. The architecture was magnificent and the streets were so charming. Yeah.
Nice. So this is interesting because we'll say this very naturally, natively, if we say something and then we're
Hmm.
like, we want to emphasize. I
Yes.
mean, it was absolutely stunning, right? And so it's not just saying like,
Yes.
oh, I've thought of a better word. It's like
Right.
this is a natural sort of way of self-correcting.
Yes, I love it. So natural. So it doesn't feel, again, it doesn't feel like you're coming up with that better word. And especially a city like Paris for a question like this. I mean, nice for the word for the city of Paris. Come on.
Right? We need better
Right.
words. Absolutely. All right. Number
All
two
right.
here, I like this one, is to
Yes.
say, in fact, it's downright. So you say
Mm,
one word and then you want that higher scoring word. You can say, in fact, it's downright. And then you use that other word, that other adjective.
that's so
So
good.
I'll give
Yeah.
the examples here, Lindsay. What is a
Okay.
question that I could answer
All
here?
right. So what is your favorite type of music?
Okay, first with the band six example,
Yeah.
I really like pop music because it's fun and catchy.
I know what you're doing there, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
And
I
you're
said
also,
fun, and I'm like, oh, I know a better way to say that.
I love it. And what would it look like if you were to give a band seven or higher example? Mhm.
Okay. So I could say, I really like pop music because it's fun. In fact, it's downright catchy.
Wow.
And this is a really good fluency score, right? There's no hesitation. There's no just thinking of a synonym. Instead, we're using
Hmm.
this very natural expression
Yep.
to self correct and also just add more impressive, exaggerated vocabulary.
Okay. So that one again is, in fact, it's downright X,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
And our next one is really good. It sounds wordy, but it's really high level, right? So here's what it is. I'd even go so far as to say it's X, right?
Exactly. This is
So,
even going to give you points for like idiomatic language. This has to
yeah.
be used word for word. It's a chunk that we would use,
Hmm.
right? We
Yeah.
say one thing and then we realize that's not strong enough. We say
Right.
this whole chunk. I'd even go so far as to say it's, and then we add the more impressive word.
Yeah. This really gives you a second chance, right?
Yeah.
And so here's the question. You want to ask me the question and I'll give
Sure,
the
Lindsay.
example? Okay.
What type of films do you enjoy?
Action movies. I really like the movie Inception. The story was good, jaw dropping. Yeah. Very
Mm.
awkward, disjointed.
Yeah, you can see how you
Um,
said good, and you're like, no, I know better words to describe
yeah.
good movies. And so then
And
you just
then I
throw in
just
jaw
jammed
dropping.
in the word. Yeah,
Right.
just jammed it
So
in.
instead, let's use this chunk and let's hear a
Hmm.
band seven or higher example, Lindsay.
Okay. Action movies. I really liked the movie Inception. The story was good. I'd even go so far as to say it was jaw-dropping. Wow. So much
Yeah.
better. So
So much
natural.
better.
Hmm.
Exactly, right? Really natural. A phrase that's less common, band nine, because students don't know to use it. So,
Yes.
and perfect if you think of a new word and you need this in your pocket to use it, to say it.
Yeah, so good. And there is, believe it or not, there's a fourth, right?
Yes.
And that is what, Aubrey?
It is well more accurately, which is a
Hmm.
great way to then say it more because usually those band nine words are more specific. So it's like you're being more
Yes.
accurate with your description, right? So for
Yes.
example, give me a
Hmm.
question, Lindsay.
Okay, here's the question. Do you prefer spending time alone or with other people?
I don't really like, I abhor spending time alone. So you can see how I said like we avoid we tell you don't say I like, I don't like. There are so many
Right.
higher scoring words. So then I
Yeah.
thought of abhor and I just crammed it in there.
Yeah. I mean, at least you said I again, right? So it's a little
True.
less jamming it in, but still it's awkward. It's disjointed. There's a pause. It doesn't work for your fluency coherence, right?
Exactly. So here's a
Yeah.
better example. I don't really like spending time alone. Well, more accurately, I abhor it. I'm a total extrovert and I love to be surrounded by people. So you can see instead of
Nice.
just throwing in that other word, I'm giving a reason to say it. I'm trying to be more
Hmm.
accurate, more descriptive.
Yeah, wonderful. Perfect. I love this. It's just, again, what we're trying to do is replicate real life speech on the IELTS
Exactly.
exam. That's what the examiner is looking for, and that's why this will help your score, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do some more examples here, Aubrey. We have a part one example question. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do two
Okay.
part ones. You ask me one, and then I'll ask you one. And we're
Okay.
going to use these phrases to add sort of interesting vocabulary that we would think of as we go.
Okay, here we go. I'll ask you the first one.
All
Do
right.
you like eating fast food?
Well, I do eat fast food occasionally because it's just so quick and easy. I mean, sometimes I'm really pressed for time and have no other options. However, I try to eat meals that are more nutritious, like salads and grilled dishes, instead of burgers and fries all the time. So you see that I
Nice.
had thought of pressed for time as like a
Hmm.
more impressive way to say these they're quick and easy. I'm like, oh, the
Hmm.
band six words I'm using. And I think of
Yes.
pressed for time and then I want a way to naturally say that. So I can say, I mean, sometimes I'm pressed for time. And really I'm saying the same thing again.
Yeah, and that's okay. That is
Yes.
exactly what native speakers do, right, Aubrey?
Right? As long as it's new vocabulary in a
Hmm.
natural way like this, then it makes sense. Your fluency score would not go down here.
100%. All right,
All
I'm
right,
ready
I'll
for
ask you
another
one,
part one.
right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lindsay, how often do you cook at home?
Even though it's difficult, well, more accurately, it's a huge pain. But in spite of that, I try to cook at home most of my nights. I admit that sometimes I rely on ready-made meals, usually that I picked up at Costco, when I'm short on time. I wish I loved cooking, but I don't. I'd even go so far as to say it's just not my jam.
Oh, nice. You've got
All
two of
right.
them here. I love this,
Really
right?
good.
So,
Yeah.
first, you had said it's difficult, and
Mm-hmm.
immediately, oh, band six, difficult. I could have said that better ways. And you think
Right.
it's a huge pain. Instead of just
Mm-hmm.
immediately saying that, which would seem disjointed, you use
Yeah.
this, well, more accurately, it's a huge pain. And that is higher
Yep.
scoring. It's more like slang. This is part one. That's perfect. It's more informal and less common.
Yep. And then in the second piece, I got another one in there. So really pushing up my score. I
Yes.
said, I wish I loved cooking, but I don't. Kind of simple. I mean, some grammar there, but it's pretty simple what
Pretty
we're
low
saying,
scoring.
right?
And I could see you immediately thinking, like, I know
Mm.
interesting ways to say I don't like something. I should have
Yes,
used one. It's
it's an
not too
opportunity.
late.
This is a second chance
Yes.
here. And then I said, I'd even go so far as to say it's just not my jam, right?
Perfect. So good.
Yes, love it. Love it. What
Yeah,
a
this
good
is awesome.
episode.
I love this question. I'm so grateful that this listener sent it in. Thank you, Maura. And I'm glad that you now have these phrases to be able, like you
Mhm.
said, Lindsay, it's a second chance. That's a
Yeah.
perfect way to think about it. It's not too
Yeah.
late. If you think of that vocab, use one of these to add it in a very natural way.
I love it. And guys, as we're finishing up today, go and check out another episode. That would be 1558, Band 9 Speaking Vocab for Disappointment. We talked about situations that we've been disappointed in. If we get that question, how can we really knock the examiner's socks off and get that high score,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. That was a
Yeah.
two-part series. Scroll up if you missed it with
Mhm.
vocabulary for impressive, luxurious
Yes.
experiences, and then also disappointing experiences.
Yes. Love it. Good stuff today, Aubrey. I'll see you back on IELTS very soon. You have a good day.
You
All
too.
right.
See you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.